So do you think men or women make better employees?
That's a good question. No, I actually think that men and women have very, like, not all men, not all women. There's always exceptions. I do think that there's like different skills, and the workplace is very masculine.
Yeah.
And it's not a place where like women can always thrive in these traditional work environments. Even things just like we have periods and a cycle, and our energy differs like by week, where like men's differs by day. So even like the productivity books that we're reading and the way the workplace is set up, it's like really not built for women. And so I think that there's just like different skills, and we can work together in a way that's like supportive. But like if women try to work like men, we won't be able to do it as good as men. But if we try to work like us, then we can have our own unique like magic that comes through.
For sure.
To be honest, we haven't had women on the podcast. And
not really?
You're the first woman on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't know why though. I don't know if it's because we keep it too broy or what, but
I mean, honestly, don't know why. Something I actually did want to dig into with you was if you had an opinion on why men seem to be more inclined towards entrepreneurship.
I think it's because there's a lot of, you just have more role models. Like growing up, I didn't know that women were allowed to be doctors or like, I didn't know women were like legally allowed to be like, you could run for president. I didn't know women were allowed to be entrepreneurs. Like I grew up in an environment where women didn't work, and I didn't know that they were allowed to. So like I didn't have that vision. And I also think a lot of women, because they don't see other women doing it, they don't think it's possible for them.
Yeah.
So I want to be like a person that can show other people that it's possible. For sure. Yeah.
It's cool when that role model side of things comes into play too. Because my girlfriend has a couple of...
First time you talk about it on the pod.
my girlfriend has a couple of like prominent influencers like Mel Robbins and a lot of these folks that she follows. And when I showed her your content, I was like, oh, this is someone in your age demographic actually who you can kind of like role model after, which is cool.
That's amazing. Thank you.
But
That's my goal.
But it's like where I feel like there's not to demean us, but like there's a million of like Alex, myself,
100%.
Like there's a lot of like guys out there just trying to talk about marketing. It seems like there's a big opportunity for more women to get involved in content creation and stuff like this.
This is also I did a podcast episode with this girl I'm friends with she's super, super problematic online, but I love her. I love her content. It's really interesting. But she talks about how to like leverage your unique skills as men or women in like a problematic way. She's like, as a woman, you can kind of like, people aren't going to suspect as much. So like with your competitors, you can, kind of go in a little sneaky, and if you're a man, you're gonna you can play with the boys. So like lean into that, and just talks about, instead of like getting so angry about like, why is this not like completely equal, she's like, it's different, and like learn to lean into your unique strengths. And that's like what's gonna be like, that's your sneaky path. And it's not just gender, it could be like maybe you are connected to a certain type of people, or like one of my friends, she told me the best way she's made friends in Austin is she's like, her boyfriend has a boat. And she's like, that's her strength that she's playing into in business and in life. And she's like, I don't care. Yeah, that's like this fucking privilege, whatever. I'm going to lean the fuck into it. My boyfriend has a boat. I'm going to like bring all my clients on the boat. I'm going to like impress people with this fucking boat. I'm
Absolutely.
like,
didn't you do that with your house a little bit too?
Kind of. Like, honestly, one of the reasons why I bought my house, I'm like, this is a crazy house. Like, it's going to perform so well on social. Although I've actually had my house on my vision board when I was in middle school.
Oh, that's
cool. So I'd always been obsessed with that specific house.
Like a tree house kind of vibe?
No, I had that exact house on my vision board.
Wow.
Because it used to be like a popular Airbnb, and
You sniped this thing.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just remember like seeing it on Airbnb when Airbnb first came out in like 2006 or something, and being like, oh my gosh, I want to go visit this house. And then turns out, all these years later, I own it.
What advice would you give to any young women out there looking to break into entrepreneurship? Like, how should they get started?
Any young woman wanting to break into entrepreneurship,
or I could say career change. I don't know which one you think would be better.
I think entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Yeah. Any young woman wanting to break into entrepreneurship, I would tell them, don't do your shit like men. You have your own skills. You have your own strengths and weaknesses, and if you just try to copy the way that men are doing entrepreneurship, you're going to burn out, and it's not going to work for you. Open any productivity book, the first page, thank you to my wife for doing the dishes, taking care of the kids, managing and supporting my mental health, thank you for coordinating all the logistics of our day-to-day life. It's like okay, for most women, especially if you're a mother, like you can't fucking do that. Like, oh, that's why they wrote a productivity book, because they have someone like doing all their admin shit for them.
Yeah.
So like, first of all, stop reading all these books. Some of them are helpful, but stop like reading them as fucking biblical of like, I have to follow this path and I'll be like this person. Like, that's not going to work for you. Like, go learn about your cycle, learn about your unique strengths and lean into that, because you have strengths that you'll be able to compete with the men without having to work like them.
For sure. And it's true. I mean, energy levels are a huge aspect of productivity. Jerry Seinfeld had this clip go viral the other day where he was talking about how did he stay so energized, and he just meditated all the time. And he made an awesome point. This blew my mind. He was like, look at your bed after you sleep and tell me if that looked peaceful. Because the bed is always so messed up. The pillows are ruffled. The sheets are everywhere, all this stuff. And he's like, meditation is the only way that you can control your body and be totally still for an extended period of time. And that's how you rest. And it's so interesting. I think what you're saying is really important, is energy levels matter. And so if there's different aspects of energy that appeal or applied to women versus men, they should definitely like leverage that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Meditation is the advice I would give anyone, anywhere, anytime. Everyone go meditate.
All right, so if you enjoyed that, then I got something better for you. I got something actually very special, and that's the full episode. That's 45 minutes to an hour full of gems just like this, just scaled. And so if you want to listen to it, here's what you got to do. Just click the link on the screen. This is going to take you to the Sweat Equity channel with all the full podcast episodes, none of these clips, and you're going to be able to dive into the 1 hour of game that me and Brian spend probably way too much time prepping for. But it's for people like you. So like, subscribe, enjoy it, click it, and we'll see you on the other side.